Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go Cubby, Ranto, Ranto and the lovable losers. Ranto and the lovable losers. Ranto.
Hello and welcome to the Ranto Show. This is Danny Rocket here, and I am in the room with the infield fly girl. This is now this is how you can tell the podcast is live. Look, we can poke each other in the arm. If I say something that's stupid, she can slap me right in the face. And of course,
which is why I haven't been allowed in that room.
And somehow there'll still be a lag.
So we are here, of course, with Eric Wheelo and Billy DeVore. And Eric Wheelo, if you don't know, is a Brewers fan, and we let him on the show anyway today, even though him and his they booed the crap out of our manager. You know, your former, just showing absolutely no sort of respect for the man who brought you so many years to the promised land known as the postseason tournament. And so we let him here. And Billy DeVore is here from the new Nasty Boys to talk about the Reds series coming up. Michael Cotton was just screaming in your face. But we're going to get right to it. Today, the Cubs lost the third of 4 games to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, sure fucking did.
And I don't know what to say. We can't hit. The pitching's been pretty good. Doesn't freaking matter.
In the Cubs' defense, they tried today, which is better than we can say for a lot of the games recently. But today was a game. It was fun. I was there. It was great.
They tried real hard.
My first time at Miller Park at the Wrigley North, the Am-Fam Clam, whatever the frick we're calling this.
And look,
but look, it's pretty.
Their mascot wears pants.
He does.
Yeah.
The Brewers were good. I will say I had the privilege of sitting with Danny and IFG at the game. We had great seats. We're right on your side of the field, over by your dugout. It's a couple rows back from home plate.
12 rows back. Yeah, it was freaking great seats. I could see the Cubs' ineptitude right up close. I could tell you it was it was quite a view.
You know, it was a lovely time. IFG, when you got that plaque or whatever that freaking thing is for your first day at the game, I said, that's the Miller Park experience. We treat you well. We make you feel like $1 million. Oh, unless you're fucking Craig Counsell, that piece of shit. We're going to boo the hell out of you. And we did. And, this is the first game because I was in New York all week. This is the first game I got to go to in this series. And I was just thinking, okay, if I go to this game, we'll probably have the win out of our sails a little bit. Maybe it'll be a split series. Maybe it'll be over. Boo and Counsell. Dude, every second he showed his face, every time he stepped out from that dugout, it was as loud as the first time we booed that motherfucker. And I got to tell you, it felt amazing. It felt amazing. Because you know what you said, Danny? You're like, he brought us to the promised land. I've been telling you for a long time, it's been the good enough gang with Craig Counsell and these Brewers forever. And you overpaid for them. And now you get them. And you're going to feel what that's like. And you guys are realizing it. And that's the best part. I'm sitting next to people. They're already talking shit about Craig Counsell in their seats. You just told me ticket sales, they're getting cheaper for Saturday's game because they don't believe in this motherfucker. And I go, good. You shouldn't. Because what the Brewers are proving with our team right now is that it's always been a system. It's never been about that Keebler Elf looking piece of shit. It's never been.
I enjoyed that a few of the times that they thought they were booing Craig Counsell. It was actually Tommy Hotovy. You'd hear the smattering of boos. They just like people in the cheap seats like, there he is. It's like, no, it's just a mound visit.
I do have to say props to the Brew crew out there booing him because, when you first see him, game one, you first see him, totally expect it, right? Maybe the second time, third time. But, Eric, like you were saying, like this was day 4
Yeah.
And there is no slowing down. It might have been louder.
It
like
was-
it's
Dude,
it's
it was-
building.
It was the 6th inning. The Brewers are up 3-1, and he's going in to pull a reliever. I'm like, and we're just booing. Like, I understand in a tie game, but like, you know, you're like, okay, this series is over. We're gonna lose 3 or 4, or we're gonna win 3 or 4. And we're still booing this motherfucker. And he made it worse for himself because he came out after that first day, and you know what he said? He said, "Oh, it was all in good fun. We're laughing about it in the dugout." And I'm like, "Oh, really, motherfucker? Well, now we're really gonna make it, you know, hit home. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel us. You're gonna feel the hatred." And he said before even the season, he said, "You know, I think it's going to be a warm response. I think it's going to be fine." Really, dude? Really, dude? You go to the crosstown rival, you take more money, you throw us under the bus, you gaslight us the entire fucking way, and you don't think you're going to get booed? What was your expectation? You're going to get welcomed back warmly?
Maybe he meant warmly, as in the Brewers fans are just going to be hot all year.
Yes.
Yeah, blowing hot air out of their faces in his general direction with a ooh sound behind it.
Dude, even Pat Murphy, who he brought with him from like San Diego State, like when he was playing there, his best friend in the world. You can tell that our manager now doesn't even like Craig. Nobody.
Corey Furlong with the great no tribute video.
Oh.
I will say this: when I really thought about it and tried to put myself into your shoes, Eric, I think I would think that he was the biggest traitor turncoat that ever existed in the history of Milwaukee or my city. And I am curious, Billy, as an outsider looking in, like, I don't know if you have like a parallel situation like this that you've ever experienced where there was a manager or a player that turncoated on you in a way that felt like he did your team dirty. But when I think about it, I do empathize with the Brewers fans, and I think I'd be kind of like, hey, yeah, fuck you, Craig. Like, oh, Whitefish Bay boy. Oh yeah, how do you like your mailbox being knocked off its stick every day?
I'm with every Brewer fan right now, dude. Fuck that shit.
Thank you, Billy.
I mean, he was there forever, and then it was like, hometown guy's like, yeah, you know, I love you guys. I'm gonna be here forever. And then just a cheddar sausage to the back, just turning it in.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Dude, do you know how hard you have to stick somebody with the cheddar sausage to draw blood?
Not that hard, actually. You'd be shocked.
He's following in the shadows of a Brett Favre who went to the Vikings, following in the shadows of an Aaron Rodgers who held our entire state hostage before going to the Jets. You know how much you got to fuck us over that we boo you after those two assholes did that to us?
Yeah.
Like, he could have gone to the Mets. He could have gone to the Mariners. He would have came back. We would have cheered him. I swear to God, we would have. But this was personal. And it's just personal. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be until he's not the manager of your team anymore and he's coaching the Reds in fucking 3 years.
Dude, it's like he skipped going to the Jets and went straight to the Vikings.
Yes. Yep.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
He totally showed his dick to that trainer too while he was at it.
Can you think of like a Cubs example where like we felt turncoated by somebody that went to another team? I mean, that we would boo the guy. I mean,
well, I don't know that there was booing, but Contreras is the one that I think of most recently. People were pretty in their feelings about him.
By the way, this is a great time to bring it up because you did bring up Wilson Contreras. This in the auction, check out this giant Wilson Contreras autograph.
I love it.
Look, it's got the little seal of authenticity, the little silver ball thing that makes it, and this is going for only $40. Like, this is how much people don't like Wilson Contreras. My friend Tom, who donated this to the Ranterfest auction, which I will actually share a link to that in the chat. You should check it out. But he said these were going for like $250, and now I've been sharing this on Twitter. I'm the only bidder.
Yeah.
$40.
So, no. I'm going to bid on it. I'm going to bid on it only so I can buy it and then at Ranterfest beat it with a baseball.
Dude, you should draw a sling around his arm up there near his face.
I know.
Well, I'm saying
his face. I just want to point out, look how happy he is to be hanging out with all of his future teammates.
Yeah, look, he's hanging out a Cardinal in there. Now he is.
I have to assume that's the last time the Cubs had a catcher that could throw anyone out anywhere on the field.
Two pass balls today. Two pass balls today. And one was I mean, I don't know who the fuck's catching for you guys. You guys are losing it. Your fans are losing it. You guys hate. Do you just hate Dansby Swanson now? It was so surprising to me how much people are talking shit. And the point I made is like, you could have been Javi. That you could have been paying him way less to do this bad. Like you could have.
I would watch Javi be bad for us right now.
Yeah.
I would
Because
I would
even though Javi's bad, he's fun.
Yeah.
exactly.
You're
Yeah,
melting
and
down, guys. You're melting down, and I'm so here for it.
you bring up the catching situation, and the moment you had like the game was tied, you had a man on third base. Like it ended up with the home run, and you got the 2 runs at the end of the game today. But the moment that there was somebody on third and they brought in Tyson Miller, I was like, well, a wild pitch is going to put them ahead, and it'll be 5-4, and then we'll lose on this dumb wild pitch, even though I just kind of felt it in my heart because I just don't trust our catching situation.
Yeah.
Gomes is just, I don't know. He must have been on the fucking juice last year or something because
he's
like
100 years old in catcher years.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Like, what are you gonna do? Miggy Amaya is, I adore Miggy Amaya, but he's supposed to be here for his bat, and then that's not really working either. So I don't know, man. It's hard.
bat first catcher batting 177 or whatever the fuck it is right now. It's horrible.
Yeah.
The thing is, you brought Craig Counsell, you bought him, but you didn't bring the system. What are the Brewers known for? Developing catchers, and you're not seeing it in Counsell's first year. They become better pitch framers. They're throwing out runner rate. It goes way up, and it's we had Grandal come to our team, the Jonathan Lucroys of the world. We see it with Contreras right now. Any catcher that comes to the Brewer becomes better, and it's the system. I'd be worried.
Well, it does seem like, we talked a lot about Jed on this show and how we've all thought that he's been doing a poor job just in the fact that he's very risk averse in many respects. And, I think the point also of not trusting the rookies, we saw that last year where they wouldn't let the kids play. And it's still the same way.
100%.
Like, PCA did come back up today, but we lost him for 10 days, and then we lost every freaking game he wasn't at. Yeah. And then, what did you say, Canario?
Oh, yeah, Alexander Canario, he's hit 2 home runs today.
Mm-hmm.
Second one went 466 feet.
That was a shot.
I am continually wondering why why we wait for the babies to do really well in Iowa. Like, why does Iowa have a better team than us? Like, so consistently right now.
I would like to see him switch just for a fucking series. Like, have the Iowa Cubs switch with the Chicago Cubs. Send the whole Cubs down.
I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how people would melt down if they saw David Bodie at second base again?
Well, they want it. David Bodie's having a better year than any freaking Cub that we have.
All of a sudden, after David Bodie has been in Iowa for like 3 years, somehow everybody in Chicago figured out he's still in the system, and people are asking for him.
I mean, I've been asking Obvious Shirts to make me my first pair of Obvious shorts. I just want like a nice, comfortable pair of yoga shorts with Bodie and big friendly letters.
Bodie shorts.
Yeah.
You know what?
It sounds like that Bodie hit.
4 years, Joe. Give me my shorts.
Sounds like that Bodie has sailed. I mean, come on.
I forgot to say this at the beginning of the show because we're kind of doing an unorthodox version of Sun Ranto Show today, but hashtag chance in the chat, and you can win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. Just putting that out there. We can go back to our normally scheduled conversation. Yeah, I mean, to see the kids down at Iowa, Canario, PCA hit 3 homers this week in Iowa. So the Ben Brown they didn't trust to be in the rotation at the beginning of the year, and now he had like 7 no-hit innings against the Brewers this week. Like, what does a guy got to do to like get out of the pen and get the ball?
Right, you keep saying that Jed Hoyer is risk averse, and I really do feel like spending as little money as possible to scrape the bottom of a barrel is extremely risky behavior. Why are we not signing players that are good?
Well, especially since
as playing players who are playing well.
As Billy and Eric have argued with me before, when I made the argument that they're not spending, they're like, no, they spend way more than us. Well, the thing that is the thing, it's dumb money, and they spent up to the lower tax limit, right? But then they went over by $100. They're over. And once you go over, what are you doing? It's like just go for it. You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, well, you're
it's
dipping your
absolutely
toes in.
insane. So
dipping
I
your
get Billy and Eric's point that they're spending a lot more money, but we're all sitting here like, if you're gonna be $100 over, let's go
Well,
like
and
100,000 over. Let's do
In
it.
for a penny, in for a pound. Go for
exactly,
it.
and yeah, or throwing good money after bad,
Right.
depending on which way you want to look at it. Because I think that is more the situation right now, unfortunately. But when if you look at both of the Reds and the Brewers right now, they do let the kids play, and it's because it's out of necessity, partially because they won't spend the money. The Cubs spend the money on the guys that are supposed to just be naturally better than everybody else, because they have more experience in the league. But the reality of the situation is David keeps beating Goliath over and over and over again. And at what point are Cub fans going to wake up and just be like, no, like we shouldn't be signing these great free agent players. We should just be really good at developing like the Reds and Brewers are.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, why
now I
bring
sound like
Craig
Tom
in and do
But if you're
exactly
not- if
everything
you're
the
not-
same? That's madness.
Like what we're doing right now is neither one of those things.
We're
Yeah.
in the middle. Like we're just good. We have a bunch of B+ players, not even B+. We have a bunch of B- players. The average grade of our classroom is B- C+. And that is supposed to be greater than the sum of its parts because of the incredible alchemy of Jed Hoyer, which is not materializing at all.
No.
Well, don't forget the Reds spent over $125 million this offseason. They went out and spent and saw where their holes were, and they've mostly worked out. Emilio Pagan's on the IL right now, but it's just a slight tricep strain. He'll be back, but overall, all of those signings have been pretty good. Suter's had maybe 2 bad outings out of all of them that he's pitched in this year. Frankie Montes has been up and down, trying to figure out how to pitch because he's never pitched with the pitch clock. So that's been up and down, but that was to be anticipated. But I don't have to say, like, your guys' pitching development is pretty good when you have to say with the stuff that they've been churning out. What, that new guy they called up just pitched 7 innings?
Ben Brown. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't we trade for him?
Yeah, we got David Robertson we got him from the Phillies for David.
Yeah,
Robertson.
so he's been in our system for 2 years, but only because the executives are super afraid to bring anyone up at any time. So, like, honestly, we were calling for him last year, and they would not do it. But Ben Brown is only minorly our guy. He came out of the Robertson trade.
I mean, how long do you think Craig lets this go on? Because he does have that front office experience and he does have a say. Like with him and Stearns when he was with the Brewers, it seemed like they worked in harmony. But it's like kind of, I'm just happy to be here. He gave me a bunch of money. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. But if it's not going well and they go, why did the Brewers win? It's like, because they let me play these young guys and develop them and let them get their shot, And I don't know. Maybe that relationship isn't there yet, and maybe it develops, and I think it does if the Cubs want to find success.
The question is, do the Cubs want to find success? And I not the players. Obviously, the players are, they're trying their best individually, and sometimes that works out and sometimes it doesn't. But the people who are making the decisions as to which players are available to try their best, are they interested in winning baseball games?
Yeah. That's exactly where I am, IFG. I actually really like this team. At the beginning of the year, to Eric's point, Craig had a chance. He put together a team. He ran them out there how he wanted them. And what happened? We were all losing our minds. Like, there seemed to be a spark, a little alchemy, a little bit of magic in this team. And then as soon as some injuries started, then I don't know who's making the decisions. Maybe it is Craig and he just doesn't know how to handle it when people are injured. But all of a sudden, everything changed. And even though we're starting to get guys back, it seems like they've lost something. The team seems like it's set up differently now than when they started. And I notice it. I don't know if they notice it. I have no idea what's happening.
I mean, the team was never terribly deep to begin with.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
and we started out at the beginning of the season with I believe our starting first baseman was Patrick Wisdom.
Well, it was one of those.
And
If
then
all things go
yeah.
well, we could be a slightly above 500 team.
Exactly.
And your bullpen's hurt. Like the whole thing.
And they suck.
Yeah, and it's not good on top of it.
And even if they weren't hurt, Craig's only going with lighter anyway. No matter what, in any situation, at any day, score whatever it is, we're throwing lighter.
Who
Guess
blew up?
what? I've seen it with the Brewers. If his bullpen, and we go into a year which the Brewers have had when the bullpen hasn't been as strong, he's going to ride that fucking arm. We saw it with Boxberger, and it eventually falls off. And then you're at the end of the season, and it's like, who do I go to? What got me here? And it's tough. It is tough, but he's going to ride those guys.
Yeah.
Well,
the
Leiter, I just want to talk about Leiter real quick because he's been incredible for us. And he was incredible for us last year. He's got got that splitter that goes down into lefty. He's been our lefty specialist, and seeing that pitch up close, you could really see it dive. Like it's really cool to see. But he had his first bad outing, and everybody was kind of like, first bad outing, that's going to happen, from time to time. But when that splitter ain't splitting like it wasn't at the end of last year, it's bad because that thing just like sits there for them to hit it like 91, and it's just like easy for him. It's just right in the middle of the plate, and that's what we saw the other night. And then we saw also a huge blow up from Shota for the first time, and I wanted to really talk about that because the game got canceled on Friday against the Cardinals.
Right.
And instead of just letting him pitch on Saturday for whatever reason, whatever schedule they thought they wanted to be on, where Shota would have pitched against the Cardinals and the Brewers, they pushed him back. And then he got absolutely massacred. And in a game that ended up like we only lost by 1 run. So if like Shota.
Oh, it was 10-6.
Is that wrong in the script? Yeah, 10. Yeah. Was that the final thing? Oh, 10-6. Yeah, he gave up 7 freaking runs though.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now his ERA went up to like 2.18 or something like that.
Then Hendricks comes in and he gives up 3. So there you go.
Yeah. That's ideal.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing in the entire world that a starting pitcher likes more tn taking 10 days off as a surprise.
It's stupid. And everybody knew it. And because I tweeted something about it, I was like, this is all the fault of, the rain out in St. Louis. And that tweet took off. Everybody's like, absolutely. Like everybody thought it. And then I had a few hot dogs being like, he's like, oh yeah, because you know how it works, buddy. And I'm like, yeah, I actually do. Because it is, you got a guy, he's rolling.
Yeah.
He's absolutely rolling. And even Boog on the freaking broadcast was like, well, I understand it because by the end of the year, he'll be wanting that rest. I'm like, oh, will he, Boog? Because I don't even care. It's called the fucking All-Star break. Let him miss a start then. He was rolling.
Yeah.
Frustrating. So, because you're not winning. So, and that's the issue. When you're not winning, Assad was good, but, still just in there except for, he wasn't even supposed to be part of this rotation on a regular basis, and he's still out there, and he had an okay game, but we still freaking lost it against the Cardinals. That one was the 4-3 loss. So we're just coming up $1 short over and over and over again. What happened?
Cotton's muted.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh wait. Just technical difficulties. Cotton, you're muted.
Well, I can't speak for Eric, but I'm pretty cool with all that's happened. I'm not really disappointed.
You're
in last place.
Yeah, it sucks. It's been tough.
24-32.
Here's the deal. We just got done on a 17 game West Coast road trip and then came home and then played the West Coast, the NL West again. So we just knocked out the NL West. We're done now. And then our next 23 of our next 31 games are against the NL Central.
Yeah, the Reds can be good. They just can't play good teams. That's, fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah, you just can't play like, the Dodgers. Well, we just swept the Dodgers. That was pretty awesome.
All right,
3 at home. But the Cardinals, it sucked. We won the first one.
You knew that offense was gonna snap out of it.
I know.
There's just too much talent there.
And Goldschmidt went to Driveline this offseason, and so you knew.
Well, we woke him up. You know,
Yeah.
Well, you wake everybody up. You woke us up. I mean, that's just what you're doing. You're the waker-uppers.
I know.
They're like, hey, what if we took your hitters and put them in front of some guys who don't know how to find a strike zone and can only throw 90 miles an hour?
You're the Adderall of MLB right now.
Yeah, we're the princes. We're the prince's kiss.
Oh, I can't wait.
Of the princess. Let's wake her up. But we fall to 28 and 29. The Cardinals actually just leapfrogged over us by beating. Who did they just beat? You? Is that? Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, now they're in second place, and Pacoda doesn't look quite as stupid as they did at the beginning of the year when the Cardinals were absolute dog shit. Yeah, I don't know how to get out of this tailspin, to be honest. I mean, hopefully the Reds come in to moralize that, but it doesn't seem like we lost 3 or 4 to the Pirates. Then we lost to the freaking Cardinals. Now we're losing. We lost to the Braves as well. Like, we just losing series after freaking series. May has been abysmal. And like Michael just said, this is when the guys who were hurt when we were winning, we were like, oh man, we're winning now without them. Oh, when they come back, we're just going to start rolling, and we're going to be a steamroll over this division when we start playing teams. And the exact opposite thing happened. We just freaking hit the skids.
Yeah, Seiya's been dog shit until he hit that homer today.
That was fun, though.
Oh, it's pretty cool. That helped my fantasy team a lot. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, and that's sort of that's a frustrating thing, because you are correct. Seiya's average is dropping precipitously constantly, but he hits the ball so damn hard into outs. That's the frustrating part. It's like he's
been very unlucky.
He's seen it well, and he's cranking it. And every time he's hitting it directly at somebody. And honestly, up to this point, it's a lot of his 60-mile-per-hour hits that he gets on base with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler Stevenson's the same way. He's in the top 5 percentile in bat speed, barrel percentage. I'm forgetting the other metric off the top of my head, but he's just drilling them to somebody, and they're finding that left. He hasn't found that left center field gap yet. It happens.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I don't know what gets us off this schneid. Because that there's going to be some game at the coming up where the Cubs put up 14, 15 runs, and it'll feel just this huge release. And I don't know if I trust that will be the moment that turns the season around, and then all of a sudden we start hitting. A lot of people are pointing to the calendar itself right now.
We're just bad in May.
In May. Well, remember last May, they're just bad in May. I'm like, it's not the fucking stock market.
Right. That's not how this works.
Yeah, sell in May, go away.
The price of corn raised in May of 2022.
Yeah.
My pumpkin futures are skyrocketing.
No, I think
futures.
I think it's fairly logical. We had Seiya, Ian Happ, Dansby Swanson, Nico Horner. All of these people were injured. And then they came back, and now they're playing. And do you think they're 100% better? Probably not. They're probably still playing injured. Cody Bellinger broke a rib. The Seiya's got the oblique thing. We got some hamstrings going, and baseball's a rotational sport. All of your muscles have to do the things to make the hitting happen. And now with our entire lineup is playing hurt, and it's not August that we're having this conversation. It's freaking May.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what. Yeah, of course the young quad A players who were not injured were hitting better than our hurt 27-year-olds.
Yeah, but pitchers didn't know him either. So, PCA, I mean, he was doing okay. I mean, I don't hate the fact that he had to go play in Iowa, but I just hate the fact that, we had to keep watching Nick Madrigal. I
have an idea. Let's send Nick Madrigal down, bring Alexander Canario up, and give him some at-bats.
Well, too bad we can't get PCA to play the infield.
And Danny, that's ultimately the thing that is driving Cubs fans the most nuts. It's we could understand if young guys are going up and down. It's when guys like Madrigal just never leave. They never leave. And all we want is for them to leave.
I do not know what kind of chokehold that dude has on his roster spot. Like, it is bananas.
He's got Jed sex tape, dude.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah.
Yeah, with the thing that he did to Clark in that suit.
Yeah. And when Ronnie Woo got involved, woo.
I think a Craig thing. He wanted to bat Jesse Winker in the playoff games.
Do you think Ronnie Woo woos during sex?
Oh,
absolutely.
He's got to, right?
I never wanted to have those words in that order put into my brain, but thank
You know what I think is funny? All you guys just made up this like insane Jed sex tape in which Clark and Ronnie Woo. You know, the sex tape is the most chaste. It's like got the virgin dress that just has a hole in it, and he's like a Mormon, and that's it. There's no skin whatsoever. That's the Jed Hoyer sex tape. It's the most boring thing you've ever seen, and yet he's super afraid of seeing.
I think it's just Nick Madrigal has the password to the account, the Jed Hoyer Twitter account that had the spankin' it tweet.
Oh, yeah.
And he's afraid the dude's gonna log in and post some more stuff.
Yeah, Handmaid's Tale sex tape. Bill says. Well, we got to take a break. And I know Eric, you have to go, but we're going to see you tomorrow at Ranterfest, where you're going to perform a set, and it's going to be in praise of the Chicago Cubs and their performance.
I'm coming with nothing but love for all the ranters and for the city of Chicago and the Cubs. I mean, I'm not going to say one poor word about you on stage. I guarantee it. Right, Billy? Because we don't punch down as comedians, right?
That's right.
We wouldn't do that.
Record.
No, lateral.
No, yeah, lateral punch, if not slightly up. So, I'm excited. Me and Crawley got something planned. Me and Danny talked this thing down. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Come out, support. It's for a great cause. And, I don't know what more to say.
Sunranto.com/Ranterfest. We actually sold a couple of tickets to tomorrow. I just saw it on the way home from Milwaukee. So we got even a couple more people coming. Got the reserved table seats. We're selling out there. If there are still a few seats left, so you can come down. You can also get tickets at the door. But sunranto.com/Ranterfest if you want reserved seating. The other thing we're gonna do real quick is now, Eric, you got to go. But Billy, can you stick around a little bit longer to talk about the Reds and the matchup coming up? Because
I can stick around, but are you going to make me talk about my baseball team that's dog shit? That's just going to suck.
Well, it's going to make us feel better, though. So,
well, my team isn't dog shit, so I'm the X factor here, so I should leave. This is.
Well, before
good for you.
Eric, I just want to say it was a lovely first experience visiting your baseball home.
Yes.
I thought the fans there were. It was. I have to admit, being fully honest, it was a good vibe.
We are a good vibe.
It's a nice little park.
There's half Cub fans.
It was
shut up.
But I mean, y'all know what I do at baseball games. You follow me on Twitter, you know what I do. You're my Instagram. Like I like to run around the park. I take pictures of people's jerseys, and so like sometimes you run up and ask somebody if you can take a picture, and they're like, I don't know what are you gonna do? Are you gonna post it online, make fun of me? I'm like, no, I just want to collect. But this was it was such a fun time. People wanted to talk about what they were wearing. They were like, I'd be like, this dude had a Cubs jersey that said Trader 30 on the back.
It was amazing.
It was so funny.
Yeah, I got it on I got some really good pictures of this. Maybe I could just show it right up here on the screen.
Oh man, that'd be
Cancer.
Great. No, it was fantastic. Craig came out and he this dude standing in the crowd holding up his jersey. And I went up and found him later, and I was like, "Bro, I've been asking for the Cubs to sign Craig Counsell since 2019. We had a little chat. We went back and forth, and he's like, what? I just think it's good fun. I don't hold any hard feelings for the guy. I'd have left for that amount of money too."
And then he immediately booed.
Give him shit for the next 5 years over it either.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a fantastic time, and so I just want to.
We're not happy to host most Cubs fans, but it was a real thrill to have you there, IFG. You were the exception. So
I think what we should do is we should play the commercial, let Eric go, and then we'll come back and we'll do the Cubsler, if that's cool. I know we got a new Cubsler already, and So why don't we just say, well, we'll see you tomorrow, Eric. And
we'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you Saturday in the bleachers. Maybe I'll make an appearance tomorrow in the bleachers. Let's. Here's my question: if I wear Brewer shit, am I going to get shit, or are people not going to care?
Well, yeah, you are. No, he's going to get shit from me.
Right, from people you know.
All right.
Like just in general, people won't.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good time tomorrow. Can't wait to see you and Billy too. Billy's performing it, but we're not going to let him go quite yet. We're not finished with you, Billy.
Be nice to my weekend roommate, Billy. Billy and I are sharing a place together. So
we are.
Yeah,
Eric, I hate to tell you this, but on Billy's podcast, they call the place the Fart Dungeon, and I don't think it's because the room smells.
We bring our own incense. It's very nice.
Yeah. And on that note, we'll be right back. Why don't you subscribe to us on Patreon?
That's a lot to wrap my head around. All right.
And your nose.
Hasta mañana, brother.
All right.
Later.
All over Chicagoland, there are thirsty, frazzled, overworked Cubs podcasters who are struggling to survive one more baseball season in the dog-eat-dog world of unpaid content creation. But it doesn't have to be this way. You can make a difference. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/sunranto, where your support ensures that poor, sad, pathetic, ugly, loser Cubs podcasters can pay for tickets and beer, and in turn, line the pockets of the baseball oligarch Ricketts family. Just $1 a month can buy a scorecard. $5 a month can pay for guitar strings to write a Cubs song. And $10 a month almost buys one beer at Wrigley Field. Cubs content creators are the lowest pieces of pond scum garbage that slither over the face of this planet. But super ranters help them get drunk and screw off at baseball games. What do you get out of it? The Ranto Show delivered to your podcatcher without stupid advertisements like the one you're seeing and hearing right now. Plus, at other Super Ranter levels, you can get Cubs music, access to private Ranto pages, the Ranter calendar, and special thanks and Ranter recognition in our live broadcasts. Plus, eligibility for monthly prizes. What does Ranto get out of it? Your money. For tickets and beer. Go to patreon.com/sunranto. That's patreon.com/sunranto. And become a super ranter today. If you like the Cubs a bunch, buy your t-shirts from In the Clutch. We've got all the best styles for you. Dansby, Saya, Morel too. Clark Fly in his W. Cody Bellinger, smoking dudes. Vintage shirts from days of old. Patrick Wisdom and Nico. You'll look sharp wearing your strobe. 10% off with the code SONRANTO. SONRANTO. InTheClutch.com is your store for the most fun baseball shirts on the planet. Don't forget to use promo code SUNRANTO to knock a couple bucks off your purchase. Stack or die, we need more cups. Get it all at In the Clutch. Cause if you like the Cubs a bunch, buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Get it all at In the Clutch. Get it all at In the Clutch.
Stack or die, baby. We need more cups. Look, I've got my In the Clutch shirt on right now.
Nice.
I
check this one out.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's hot dogs from heaven.
Yeah. And then
From
when
Seattle.
I was getting ready to promote it. Oh, hi.
Oh, look at that cute buddy.
Doggy appearance.
It's Rosie. So when I was getting ready to go to lunch and I was wearing this shirt and I was on my way to lunch and I look over in a parking lot and I shit you not, it was the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. And I pulled over and all of the photos promoting the shirt are me standing with the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
What was it doing in town?
Oh, I don't know, just hanging out. It was about 3 blocks from my house. So it's almost like they were begging me to drive it.
I've seen it myself, and I also did something similar, just like, oh my God, and like pulled over right away and ran over there. You know, you got to. I mean, you never know when you're going to see that thing again.
Yeah, how often do you get to see a hot dog car, or just a celebrity?
Yeah. Well, I do have to ask you about, speaking of hot dogs, you got this 999 shirt going around. Which,
Yeah.
What is it? 9 beers, 9 hot dogs in 9 innings. Michael Cott and I tried something similar without the hot dogs. We tried to, remember we had to do a beer at a bar during the playoffs.
It was it was the 2015 Cubs Cardinals series, and the Cubs were still in St. Louis, and we were jumping around Wrigleyville getting lit. I think I climbed up on a TV van at some point.
Yeah, we also didn't make it. We failed. There were a couple quick innings where we're like, I'm gonna throw up. I need something to eat.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get from one bar. Like you got to drink, and then you got to get to the next bar. And around the 7th inning, like
we were hurting.
Somehow a bar is not a straight shot.
Yeah.
Like,
So I've done something similar. A couple years ago, I was in the Diamond Club, which is like right behind home plate. They bring you food and all this stuff. I did 7 hot dogs and 7 John Dailies in 7 innings, which a John Daily is, sweet tea, lemonade, and vodka.
Ooh.
Now, it was pretty good, but they cut me off in the 7th. And so
Yeah.
How many did you have?
7 hot dogs. I also had the buffet before. So
No, I wasn't worried about the hot dogs. The John Dailies.
yeah, that's gonna get you there.
Yeah, the hot dogs are going to give you a stomach ache. The John Dailies might kill you.
I mean, he's thriving.
I guess.
I'm sorry. I come from a very long line of devoted Irish alcoholics, but in the pitch clock era where a game is like 2 hours and 20 minutes long, I think 9 servings of alcohol would put me under. Under the dirt.
Yeah, maybe in one of those 4-hour, 5-hour Red Sox Yankees games, you could get a good 10 drinks in and something like that. But
can we also break the stigma of the Irish being the best at drinking? They're just known for being the loud. Every Irish person I know, I drink them under the table. It's not even close. Us Germans are built different.
It's just that they're always up for it.
Yeah, up for it, and they're loud. They get 3 Guinnesses in, and then next thing you know, they're all fighting each other's with potatoes.
it was better than stabbing each other with hot dogs like they're doing up in Milwaukee.
Yeah, but then you have Germans who drink liters of beer, and then they drink them all day for Oktoberfest, and then they're just quiet.
Yeah.
Well, then they try and take over the world a couple times.
But we won't talk about that. Not yet, though. We're not until hour 3. Which we're not going to get to tonight, thank God, because we actually have a busy night, and we should get on with the show, and I think we should do the Cubsler.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, so we have a whole lot of winners this week.
This one, surprisingly to me, I thought it was actually a little bit harder than it was, but this one did have, and it's not even that we had a lot of winners, it's that everybody who guessed pretty much got it on the first try. And that's what usually doesn't happen. They usually have to go a few times. But here we go. Cubsler number 19 is Benny was not a Jet or Mussolini. Padre Roy, Rookie of the Year, was a rookie Joe DiMaggio. David Ross once pirated his job, sending him into retirement. And the explanation to this was Benny was not a Jet or Mussolini, but his nickname was Benny, and his real name was Benito. It was Benito Santiago. As a Padre, he was the Rookie of the Year, and he's a rookie Joe DiMaggio because he holds the record for the longest hit streak by a rookie. And then at the end of his career, he was playing for the Pirates, and David Ross stole his job. And that was the last time he played on a major league team. I think he tried to come back the next year in a minor league deal, but he didn't make it back to the majors. But yeah, Benito Santiago was the answer.
What'd you say?
I said, imagine getting pipped by David Ross.
Well, David Ross used to be good. I mean, and then he was good at the end. I mean, he was always a solid backup catcher. I mean, it's sad that our taste of David Ross right now is as the manager, which we hated. But now that we're seeing Krager's in there, it's like, oh man, maybe it wasn't David's fault.
Right. And San Diego, Santiago. He played for San Diego. Santiago was a backup catcher, too. It's not like, despite that Rookie of the Year campaign where he hit for like 37 straight games or something like that, he didn't have like a real strong career.
Well, we do have winners. Should we do the winner of all the people that?
Yeah, let's. Do you have the wheel? The wheel of winners.
Here we go. We have these are. Oh, actually, that's wrong. Right? There's more.
That is not the one.
That is not enough winners. Hold on. I will fix. I will fix this one. I think I've got the.
Okay, you know what? While you fix that, let's.
Yeah, give the new one.
I could go. I'll move on to the next one while we're fixing that one. Okay. This is Cubsler number 20. Remember, if you have an answer, you send an email to sunranto@gmail.com with Cubsler20 in the subject line. This Chicagoan had a pep in his step, an unofficial all-star of the Associated Press. Dexter Fowler followed in his footsteps. It all ended in Laguna Beach instead of Miami. I'm thinking this is going to be a little bit harder, but once you see it, you'll definitely know. So this Chicagoan had a pep in his step, an unofficial all-star of the Associated Press. Dexter Fowler followed in his footsteps. It all ended in Laguna Beach instead of Miami. I know I did a footsteps.
What happened there? Stroking out a little bit. All right. So here's all the winners. Jared Patton, Matt Shepardson. I went to high school with Matt. Artie Boucher, Jeff Bjorn, Mike Waller from the Cubs PS Plus podcast, David Elliott, Corey Furlong, Joe Caccione, Chad Smeets, who actually donated a Wisdom and Tuckman signed bat to the auction for Ranterfest. Infield Fly Girls in here, and Chris Salato. All with correct answers. Let's pick a Vina.
Oh, here it comes.
I can feel it. Oh, yes! Chris Salato.
Good job, Chris.
He's already in bed, though. He worked so early. I saw he was here earlier.
He's already in bed, and he's won. This might be his fourth win. He's definitely on top of it. He put some work in.
And the other thing I want to bring up too before we get into the Reds and the upcoming series is that this is also from In the Clutch, which is the Ranterfest shirt, which you can buy at intheclutch.com. And I think you just search Ranterfest when you get in there, right? Or
yeah. Even if you Google Ranterfest, we're the second thing that comes up.
And this is, of course, from one of our other sponsors, Matt Kammerer, who drew this incredible artwork that everybody loves. By the way, it's hanging all over Wrigleyville. Everybody I show this artwork to, they love. Those shirts look great. I don't have mine yet. I don't know if you sent me one or if I'm just waiting for mine or how that works, but I think I'm just going to get one tomorrow. Is pretty much because Billy is saving me some shipping.
Hand delivering it, baby.
Hand delivered $35 to the Lost Boys that I didn't have to pay in shipping.
Yeah, they're in my car right now. I took a look at them and I was like, those look nice. And now they're just ready to go. The shirts are packed before I am. So
yeah, and that reminds me, we really do have to end this show quite soon, only because I'm going to be loading in some of the gear into Output Lounge tonight, because it's a freaking shit show down there during game day, and it would just be a lot easier to do tonight. So let's move in to this Red series coming up. Now, Michael, you wrote down a lot of compare contrast stats, and maybe Billy wants to maybe comment some of these if he agrees with them or not.
Yeah, I'll throw them out there. I hope they're correct. I did my best here, but first off, the current stretch of run that they've been on, they lost 2 of 3 to the Padres. Then they swept the Dodgers. Billy was very excited about this. Then they lost 2 of 3 to the Cardinals. They are currently 5th in the Central, 24-32. Cubs are 3rd at 28-29. Not good for either team. Reds and Cubs are tied with Pittsburgh with 52 home runs. So, see, honestly, that feels like a little bit of a power outage for the Reds in Great American Ballpark.
So it's a league-wide power outage. It's not just So I don't know what they did with the ball, but they just aren't flying like they were last year.
Okay, Cubspiracy time here. Listening to that Ian Happ podcast the other day, he was talking about this a little bit. He didn't want to, he kind of just mentioned that he's hit a few balls that seem to die out on the vine. And then somehow this week against the Brewers, some of those balls just seem to never die, even though they maybe didn't have the exit velocity that we have seen from certain balls that made it to the warning track. We would see other balls go a long, long way. So I do feel like there is something kind of iffy happening right now with the balls.
Yeah, I mean, you look at a lot of the guys in our lineup that aren't, really hitting, that were hitting last year, or guys who have hit in the past, and they're coming around, whatever that may be. But looking at Tyler Stevenson, like I said earlier, and then I just looked at Will Benson on Baseball Savant. I mean, barrel percentage, 88th percentile, hard hit, 83rd percentile. They're all pounding the baseball. They just aren't going anywhere like they used to. They're not falling. They're not falling in any gaps, or they aren't leaving the ballpark, and they're real close. Like, I watched Spencer Steer on Monday hit 2 that last year would have been gone, but they were at the warning track.
We saw 3 in 1 inning today. 3 warning track shots in the same inning for the Cubs.
Yeah, it was wild.
And we were sitting pretty close, so it didn't really have that sound, but it was close to that sound. And maybe if the air was hitting out, but yeah, you're right. It is league wide, and because that MLB has fucked with the balls in the past,
because they own Rawlings now.
So we know that they are fucking with the balls because they already fucking did it. So I don't want to be like, well, they would never do that. No, they absolutely would do that because they already fucking did it. It was just last year. It's just like, oh, housing always goes up. Yay, guess what? It doesn't. It was 2008. It didn't go up.
Yeah, I did a whole baseball rabbit hole about it, and I think it was like 2018 that the ball that they had actually affected the hitting and everything like twice as much as steroids ever did.
Yeah.
Look at insane.
like Scott Schebler had 30 home runs that year, and then he never came close after that. He had like 14 for the rest of his career. I mean, Christian Yelich can accredit that 2018 MVP to the juice baseball.
He's still living on that contract.
That too. Yeah, exactly. So, dude, I think they fucked with the balls again. And when you're a team that was built, especially with what that offense did last year, and all of a sudden you're like, there's no way that most of these same dudes aren't hitting the same.
Well, and Great American Ballpark. I mean, it's just known as one of the most lively ballparks.
Well, it's not
but you build your team for where you play.
It's not humid and gross here yet, so the balls don't fly out.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm looking at these comparative numbers, and it seems like the Reds and the Cubs are pretty similar freaking offenses, and that is a little disconcerting to me because we're paying all this money. You guys have these kids. We've got guys you maybe have heard of at least.
And a lot of them have been hurt.
Okay,
most of the year, we have played without Matt McClain and TJ Friel, your top 2 players in overall WAR from last year.
Yeah.
Starling Marte. Yep. He got popped for steroids. That's a whole other thing, but he won't be back till late June.
Right.
So you lost 3, and then CES has been out with a broken hand, and his hand has been totally screwed up since the middle of April, and they finally figured out what was going on because he broke his hamate in spring training, so he wasn't getting any lift. So you're looking at starting first baseman, starting second baseman, starting center field, elite center fielder, and you're starting third baseman. And we're still comparative to your guys' offense that's at 85%, right?
Well, we have had a huge number of people in Illinois, but not Chicago.
Yeah, but what we were just saying, though, Michael, is that they were in Illinois, and now they're back, and now we're losing.
Now we're losing, right? Because they brought up the kids, and the kids were on it. Like, yeah. But anyway, let's run through these real quick. Reds are 8th in walk. walks. Cubs are 4th.
Yep.
Yeah, same.
Reds have the 6th most strikeouts. The Cubs are 8th.
Same.
Reds are 28th in OPS. The Cubs are 23rd. So very. Then you get into the fielding. Reds are 9th in DER. This is the big difference. Reds are 9th in DER. That's the defensive efficiency ratio. And the Cubs are 20.
That's
That's shocking, especially with Dansby as the vacuum and Nico being so good up the gut.
Dansby was hurt for 2 weeks, but he played the whole time. Madrigal is actually not a good baseball player, and they keep putting him in there.
It really is.
There's been a lot of, and I'm not exactly sure everything that goes into defensive efficiency ratio, but also our first baseman likes to drop balls.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So, I mean, I see why maybe that's a thing. Reds pitchers have given up 59 home runs. The Cubs pitchers have given up 58. Reds pitchers have walked 169 batters.
Nice.
And the Cubs have walked 180.
Not nice.
Yeah.
Reds have struck out 467 hitters. Cubs have K'd 492. Reds have a 3.91 ERA, which is just above average, and the Cubs are at 3.88, which is only 2 spots ahead of them, and only 0.03 better. Like, it's the same.
Is that including starters and relievers?
Yes, that's the team.
Dude, if you look at what the Reds relievers have done in May, it's astonishing. Last week, the Reds had Reds relievers had a 1.92 ERA. They only gave up 4 runs. It was silly. These guys have been on a heater until yesterday.
Well, and that goes into the next stat here. Reds have 3 blown saves and 11 completed saves. The Cubs have 9 blown saves and 12 completed saves. So
we also haven't been in the situation to be in a lot of save situations, because what will happen sometimes is like,
do you think you'd have 9? 3 times as many?
9 times.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's like just that the Reds are losing more games worse earlier, or that like we're just got way too many really close games.
Our games are over by the 3rd.
It's actually pretty nice. They get a free evening. It's like Graham Ashcraft goes out there and his cutter's flat and he gives up 5 in 5 innings, and I'm like, I can enjoy the rest of my evening. This is good.
I do have a CES that who you're talking about with the broken hand. That's Christian Encarnacion Strand.
Yeah,
which is why nobody uses that name.
It like just spirals like a snail shell all the way around his back.
Did he break his hand autographing kids' baseballs? Because it seems like that would be a lot of wear and tear on the with that giant name.
It's just writer's block. It's the first IL trip for writer's block. Writer's cramp.
Guy has a stamp. He just goes and goes, bam, here you go.
All right.
And the stamp is this big. It's got to be. It's it looks like a rainbow on his back.
So he's a hamate bone, you said?
Yes. It happened in I think it happened originally in Texas.
Right.
And then he re-aggravated it in Miami. Mm-hmm. And they did a really weird thing where they're like, he's fine. And they took like a week and a half. They're like, he's good. And then they did another x-ray and they're like, it's broken. I was like, why do we take this long to put him on the IL and figure this out?
So has he had it operated on?
No, it's been in a cast. So he'll be back in like 2 weeks minimum.
Okay.
Billy, I have to
breaks it because those things don't really heal.
I know. It's scary. It's really scary. If this feels very much like the 2011 Reds after the 2010 Reds were so fun and young and upcoming, and then 2011 happened and everyone got hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of what this feels like. They're staying afloat. There have been some positives. Hunter Green has become the guy that we thought he would become.
We will see him on Saturday, Ranterfest Day.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. That's going to be such a great pitching matchup. Justin Steele, Hunter Green. That means it's a quick game, so we can get back to Nisei and chug more Malort.
That's the plan. Yeah, let's get into the probable pitchers. We got Assad and Ashcraft.
That's a high-scoring affair.
Well, Assad's been good for us. Got a 2.17 ERA. I mean, I feel like he might be running out of luck. Do you feel? I mean,
I'm maybe too optimistic, but I don't think so. I love everything about Assad. What he does is not fancy, but that's why it's so effective. He's just doing the same thing over and over. I think I talked about it during the Cubs pod. The Cardinals, when he was throwing against them, you just saw these batters' faces. They were pissed. And I don't think it's because, like, they didn't argue the call. I think they know it's coming, and they're still missing it. You know, like, he's got a sinker that to the left-handed hitter looks like it's coming right at him and then curves back in to the plate. And to a right-handed hitter looks like it's outside and then comes back in and hits the edge. And he does it, and he's just masterful with it. So I honestly, I have...
you have faith.
It's of the 3 games, that's the one I have the most faith in.
Yeah, because Ashcraft's got a 4.67.
Dude, when his cutter doesn't cut, it's over. His cutter hasn't been cutting. His sinker's a little flat, which means he's just throwing 95-mile-an-hour flat fastballs. And his slider has been more wild, and he hasn't been able to control it. So when he's on, you'll see it in the first inning. And if everything's working for him, you know, you'll get 6 innings out of him, give up 5 hits, maybe 1 earned run, and 3 Ks. If he's not on, it's going to be 4 1/3, 6 runs, 9 hits, 2 strikeouts. Like
that was brought to you by FanDuel. Put in Billy, #Billy into the thing and get an extra $5.
Look at this. We got animal.
All the animals today.
On TV.
No, that would be amazing, Billy, if you call that on the number.
I sure hope so. It'd be nice to make some money.
We always need a podcast cat.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
my baby boy is sitting right across from me, my black cat, and now he's scared and running away.
And then in game 2, we got Steele versus Green, and Steele was, I mean, he was really good last time he went out there too. But is that the one Cubs lost that one as well, didn't they? Yeah, that was the one we lost 5-1. Steele went 7 innings.
Steele was great, gave up nothing,
Lighter
and I think Leiter gave up 3 runs, and Miller gave up 2 or something, or Little. I think Little was in there somewhere.
Well, it was mostly Lighter, but
yeah.
So then
I'm kind of interested in that game. The fact that Steele and Green both have 3 E's in their names.
A lot of E's.
Yeah. Can you imagine if there's like 6 errors in the game as well?
Bet the over on errors.
Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of E's going on. And then in Green, you already talked about being amazing, and he could strike you out. 71 Ks already this year. Yeah. So, man, that's really good. That might be towards the league lead, isn't it? Who's leading the league in strikeouts right now?
Probably Jared Jones.
Yeah.
That guy's a beast.
And it's going to eventually be, what's his name?
Skeens.
Skeens. Yeah, I saw Skeens strike out 11 in like 5 innings. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I drafted him in one of my fantasy leagues. I drafted him in the second to last round. Everyone's like, oh, he's not going to come up for a while. I was like, first week of May. I can hold off.
And then we got Five Finger Brown going in there. And he's got the 2.72 ERA. He just no hit through 7.
Yeah.
The stupid the Brewers. But it didn't matter. Still, is that we won that one. That's the game we won, but he didn't get the decision because Cubs can't hit.
Neris got the decision on that one.
Yeah, Neris got the decision. Didn't he get? That's one of those dumb ones where he got the blown save and the win. Like, I'm sorry, they got to figure that shit out. Like, I don't really care. about the stat at all, but like that guy, like that just shouldn't be a way it should be allowed to exist.
Yeah. And then Red Legs, we've got Lodolo going.
3.12 ERA. That's decent.
Dude, Lodolo is nasty. Like his curveball just disappears to that back foot against righties. It's so gross. If his issue has just been health and being available. I mean, I called it. I was like, he's going to make 5 starts and then he's going to go on the IL, and that happened at the beginning of the year. It's just the way that he's built, very much like Chris Sale. So he's got a lot of lower half issues. So he looked really good on Monday. Not a lot of strikeouts, but just pitched well. And I think he'll pitch well again coming back against you guys. But I anticipate, I think this is a put up or shut up for the Reds at this point, where you're starting division play. You need to catch some ground. So if they don't win 2 out of 3 at Wrigley, I'm very worried.
Well, I mean, they're hitting the Cubs at the right time. And I looked up the Hunter Green 71 Ks. He's actually tied for 18 with Corbin Burns.
Oh, all right.
For 18th. And the leader at the moment is Tyler Glass now with 95 strikeouts so far.
Yeah, it's so
95,
cool.
and he's 10 above the next best. That's a whole game's
or more.
Worth of
a game
or
or
more.
It's crazy he has that many strikeouts but only goes 5 innings.
And his ERA plus is 101. Yeah. And you know that one is somebody's just like, well, he's got the most strikeouts. Like, give him the one.
Yeah. It's worth $185 million.
Yep.
So hashtag Chance in the chat, and you could win the Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. We do hope that we see you all tomorrow. I don't have any TFCs because it's just been like this busy week getting ready for Ranterfest because we
were trying to get through this quick anyway.
Yeah,
so.
well, if you could see behind me, IFG can attest to it that this entire room is taken up with prizes and goodie bags and sound equipment and all this stuff that we've got to move out, and which is great, but we got work to do, so it's not going to be the normal 3-hour show, and I got no TFCs. So we're going to move through this thing, but we will give away this Chance postcard message with the message of love and doom.
Speaking of, you can jump right. Oh, I thought you were jumping into the Chance here.
I am. Yeah. Sharon, are we ready?
Now, we can see it now.
Yeah, let's draw this sucker, and we're going to see who the winner is. Oh, it's making a nice sound. The winner is Tom Cooper. Cooper. You'll see him tomorrow. He's coming to Ranterfest. So if you don't have your tickets, you want to come hang out with us. Oh, Tom's coming Saturday.
You can hand him his Chance postcard without sending it through the Steve Goodman post office.
I'll tell him my message of love and doom right to his face too.
that sounded like a threat.
Yeah. Oh, it kind of is.
That's a promise, brother.
So anyway, I'm looking forward to a really fun weekend hanging out with all you guys. Obviously, we've already started having fun. We were at the Brewers. Cubs lost today, but we need to get that record at least back to 500 tomorrow. Billy's coming in and be performing tomorrow with Chris Weir, his podcast partner as well. We got a new Mike Pusateri. He actually lives in LA, but he's a big Cubs fan and a stand-up comedian. He's like, wait, he was going to come to Ranterfest anyway. And then he goes, wait, he's like, wait, is comedy going to be part of this thing? I was like, yeah. He's like, can I do 5 minutes on the Cubs? He's like, I've got it in me. It's like, I would like to do it. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Come on through. We'll add you. We'll take it out of Billy's time. No problem.
Yeah, whatever. I'll just do 2 minutes. And the whole time I'll be up there, I'm just going to be eating a beef. So it doesn't matter.
That's why people are showing up. We just want to see you competitively eat all weekend. Really, is why we're came. We're eating donuts
every meal.
Yeah,
every meal. I'm just competing with myself and the clock that's ticking slowly away.
Yeah, it's like golf. You're just playing the course now.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I want to see. Maybe we need to add that to the Saturday as like a beef eating contest between IFG and Billy DeVore.
Oh, I eat beef, baby.
Yeah, we'll go over to Al's, pick up like 20 beefs and see what we can do. Anyway, I'm looking forward to having an awesome weekend. You know, everything's all the magic is in place. We're ready to go. Corey Furlong says, "Is there official start time for output?" The answer really is no. Because we don't know how long the game will go. And so we just kind of got to play it by ear. I would say that we're going to try to get going by 5:30, 6 o'clock by the latest. But if the game is in extra innings or some reason is like 25.
Well, if it is in extra innings, I'll be there in the right after the 9th.
Yeah, he'll already, Cotton will be there telling jokes to himself.
I will.
Probably 5:30 is going to be like the earliest start time. So like we're not going to be there like opening the door for y'all before like 4:30.
And I'm going to be there the whole time. So if you want to come over and just hang out, because part of what I really wanted to build into this is the fact that we're going to hang out with each other as well. And there'll be time for people to get a bite to eat, have a drink. You know, it's not a rushing through this thing kind of thing. We're going to be together all night. So it's like, at least till 9 o'clock at output. So it's just like we're shooting for an hour after the game is over. But, once again, we don't know it, but could be over at 3:30. But then that would seem a little early to go at 4:30. You know what I mean? Right. So it's like we're waiting for people to get to town and things like that. So we're really playing it by ear. So just come expecting to hang out. Don't feel like, you're going to miss it. We're definitely going to, I'd say if you're there by 5:30, 6 o'clock, that'd be about the time that we would go on by.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you this schedule too. Band first, doing like 3 songs. Then we're going to rock through the comedians. Then the band will go again and play a few more songs at the end. So you won't miss everything if you missed something. So
yeah, I think Weir and I are leaving here tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Nice. So you'll be there in time. You gain an hour too, coming to the Central. Yeah. And God's time Central.
That's right. Freedom time.
And I will be rolling out of here sometime around between 6 and 7, because we will be getting together, if you want, at 11 a.m. at Nisei Lounge. We will be just pre-gaming there, just kind of hanging out, shooting the shit. And I know that there are a few people who are going to be around at that time. So I will be, my plan is to be at Nisei Lounge at 11, provided everything goes okay in the 4 hours from here to there.
Yeah. I'm just so excited because I finally get to like touch Cotton, he's like a real person. And I'll be like,
and I'm so excited that Billy's going to touch me.
Thrilled. I get a little sticky. And then like all these people who comment and all this stuff, like I see their little icons, but it's like I get to finally meet him. Like Bill Sukas is real. I get to meet him. This is so great.
Yeah, and that's kind of why we're throwing this. So if you want to, you can, and you're in town, you can come by. We got a little bit more room for you. It is filling up, though, I will be honest. And so, all right, well, that's the show. Hopefully see you this weekend, and we'll get back together on the other side. In the meantime, I guess we're coming back to Wrigley, so might as well play Coming Back to Wrigley. That makes some sense to me.
It's one of the best.
Yep. So,
all right. Spagog.
Spagog, everybody.
Spagog.
I'm coming back to Wrigley with a ticket in my hands. No ring upon my finger because I am just a fan. And I spent most of my money on sausages and beer. But I was there when they won it that year. A pressured anticipation had the city tightly wrought with a 5-3 combination as the sailing ball was caught. Half a dozen generations who would live